Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Aquarius in December 2020. What is going on, Aquarius? How are you guys doing? I hope that you are doing well. All right, friends, welcome to the end of the year. Aquarius, wherever you are in the world at this time, I hope you're safe, happy, healthy, and secure. Please continue to take all precautions necessary to keep you and those around you safe, as even though we're at the end of 2020, a lot of what we've been dealing with throughout this entire year, or at least the majority of the year, is still going on. So please, again, take all precautions. Happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. If you do something for winter solstice, I'm all here for it. Please have a good time. If you are intermingling and getting together with people who you don't regularly interact with, live with, again, please take precautions, make good choices, friends. A friend of mine, my best friend in fact, contracted COVID-19 because unfortunately they had to interact with people that they did not live with. In fact, it was just people that they work with. And, you know, they did everything they needed to do, but the other person did not. And that is where we suspect this transmission took place. So please, again, if you can avoid it, okay? Aquarius, no other announcements, so let's just go ahead and get into the reading. Anything you want from me, guys, it's already in the description box. If you want to see the timestamp, it's down there. Information on how to purchase a personal reading with me is down there. And the link to my Instagram, guess what? It's down in the description box. Alright, guys, so let's go ahead and get into it. Again, Aquarius, I hope you're doing well. Let's see some outcome action, huh? Let's see the outcome for Aquarius in December 2020. Outcome for Aquarius in December 2020. Please show me. No. Okay. Wow. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. And I say wow because I feel like I've had that card in other readings come out as the, at least one other reading as the outcome. But let's go ahead and flip what came face down for you because this is your reading, not somebody else's. Alright. And looks okay, I think. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright, guys, let's get into it. Please show me where Aquarius is in December 2020. Aquarius in December 2020. Please show me. All right, we got there. Aquarius, very good. Well, I shouldn't say very good. I don't know if it's good or not yet, but it came through easily, so maybe that's why I said very good. Anyway, to start the reading, you come in with the energy of the Queen of Pentacles. Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You could be dealing with an earth sign, but you don't have to be. I feel, Aquarius, you're in a pretty good, stable place. Or whoever this is. This is a general reading. It can go vice versa. It can be someone else that you're dealing with, someone else in your life of significance. But whoever they are, male or female, earth sign or not, a very grounded place, a very peaceful place, or at least that's the hope, that's the desire, if it's not the reality. In some cases, it is the reality. It's very peaceful. It's very tranquil. Very at home. So maybe some people are literally at home. And like I said in the beginning, holidays are coming up. Maybe people are traveling home. If you are, please be safe. You know, do all the things that are recommended, okay? But there is sort of like this relaxed feeling or this comfortable feeling that I'm getting from this energy. Could be the person themselves. Well, it could go two ways. This person could be feeling that internally or externally, or they could be the provider of such things. So what do I mean? So someone could feel at peace, calm, and serene within themselves. Maybe they're like zen as fuck right now. You know, they're really chilled out. They're not really in a place where they are without much, or that is like where they're physically finding themselves. They're comfortable at their job, they're comfortable in their home, they're comfortable with their relationships, and they feel really, you know, again, at home, at peace, just like chill. Everything is just chill. Or this is an energy that this person possesses and they kind of give it out, you know, because queens in the tarot, they are providers. They create and they provide. They create, they provide, right? Very nurturing energy, yeah? So if this isn't how this person feels about within themselves or within the space that they're occupying, this is how other people feel around this person. as if they are sort of a bringer, very, very, it's a little hyperbolic, this phrasing, but a bringer of peace. Now, in other ways, this is someone who possibly, since she's holding that pentacle, this is someone who materially is pretty comfortable. They might have certain resources or access to resources that other people don't have. So in some cases, this could be someone in good financial standing. They could be an investor. They could be somebody who is philanthropic and does a lot of community service, or does a lot for charities, things like that. And it feels like, really, I'm getting the sense that this comes naturally to this person. So everything that I've mentioned so far, both the charitable stuff and how they feel at peace or they bring people peace, whatever, it seems to come natural because she's got her head turned away from the pentacle. So she's not even concerned about this thing that she has a firm grip on, right? It's just, she's not worried about dropping it. She's not worried about somebody, darting past her and snatching it out of her hand. It's like, I'm good, is how this feels. I like that. That's wonderful. That's a wonderful place to start. But if you've been with my channel for a while, some bullshit's about to happen. And that's not, me wishing it or anything like that. It's more of like that was so ooey gooey, comfortable. Oh God, why are these things popping up on my computer? Hold on. Go away, please. Thank you. Yeah, it's not me like wishing doom and gloom on the situation. I absolutely don't. But I feel like this could be very bubble. Like this person could be in a bubble. And I mean, kind of like what I was saying a moment ago about traveling during the holidays, and what I was, cautioning everybody about at the start of the reading is to take precautions at this time. And, like I said, this sort of feels like a bubble, like within the confines of one particular place, one home, one office, whatever. There's like a lot of safety there or a lot of comfortability there. And outside of that place, it might not be so the same. You know what I mean? So I'm not, I don't want to interject too much of what I think this could be. I just want to go with the flow of what it feels like it is, as the reading progresses. So whoever they are, you or someone else, feels pretty solid. And I mean, the Queen of Pentacles is kind of like the most quote unquote motherly of the queens, because she provides for the earth and she provides in the physical, right? She creates in the physical, she nurtures in the physical. So for some of you, this could be your mother, or this is your role as a mother, or there's some mother dynamic between you and another person, whether that be a friend, a family member, maybe someone that you're dating, I don't know, but there could be like this context or this vibe between you and another person of caretaking, one person caretaking for another, whether that's a quote unquote natural role, such as a parent to a child, or whether it's a little bit not as natural if it was to be someone that you're dating or a friend. You see what I mean? So what else happens for Aquarius? I think that's pretty much all I'm going to get there. Okay, so maybe that makes a little bit more sense now that I'm really engaging with the full board here. Remember 2 seconds ago, I used this word bubble, and it feels like this person is sort of sheltered or contained within a certain space, or they feel that way. If it's not true, that's how they feel. But since it's physical, or since it's pentacles, I do feel it does kind of have this physical component to it. Outside of where this person stands, whoever they are, it feels a little chaotic. And it feels like this person like bows out of drama, because the orientation of where she's looking over this way to the left, right? And right next to her is this Tower card in reverse. Major Arcana Tower, secondary for Scorpio, also sometimes associated with Aries. You could be dealing with an Aries or a Scorpio, but you don't have to be. And again, it's in the reverse. And Tower in reverse is not to say it's not happening, that there isn't some upheaval, that there isn't some type of kerfuffle or sort of demolishing aspect in the scenario. It is happening, but it's mitigated, or it's minimized, or it's delayed possibly in some of your cases. Excuse me, Aquarius. But what I'm really connecting with is that the Queen of Pentacles, again, when you place this card back down on the board, she's looking at this and is really saying no to it, is what it feels like. Again, creating a bubble. Whether or not that's good or bad, I'm not sure, because, you know, a lot of readers, and I'm one of them too, the Tower is almost always unavoidable. It's always, excuse me, it's almost always inevitable, right? This could be, in some of your cases, not all, someone trying to paint a happy picture when there isn't a happy picture to paint. And there is a clinging to what is safe, what is secure, what is comfortable in order to try to avoid the Tower. But what did I just say? Even though this is in the reverse, it's not like it's not happening at all. It's just happening on a lesser scale, or it's delayed in some type of way. Yeah. So whether or not the Queen of Pentacles is a part of the Tower moment, it affects her directly. That is kind of up in the air. That's based on, you know, all of your different experiences. Some of you, she's very much a part of it. Others of you, she's secondary to the Tower moment. And I only say she because there's a female on the card, you know. I could be talking about nothing but men. It does not matter. So regardless of how close she is to the Tower, there is, from her standpoint, and it could be that. It could be her standpoint, her perspective. So this could be someone who's trying to minimize a Tower moment, whose mindset is basically like, it's not a big deal, don't worry about that, or I'm not going to worry about that, and, you know, kind of is ignorant, for lack of a better word, to just how impactful this Tower moment could be. That could be, in some of your cases, what's going on. That someone is basically trying to paint over or ignore or, again, minimize how much of an upheaval or how much of a challenge or how much of a damn destructive situation they have on their hands, or that they're witnessing, or that they're involved in. You know what I mean? So let's see what else there is with this Tower moment. Because for some of you, it's not that. It's literally somebody is chilling on the outside watching something come down across the way. You know what I mean? Like, and it's terrible. But like when I was in college, I legit lived next to a couple that had like some type of abuse was going on in that apartment. There would be, you know, things breaking, lots and lots of yelling, cops were called, and I would just be listening. And that's terrible because I feel bad because maybe I should have intervened because but back then I was just like a nosy neighbor. Like things were cool in my apartment, but next door it was nothing but, you know, a total knockdown drag out fight between, I believe it was a man and a woman, you know? So that's not to excuse it. That's not to say that this person or me or anybody else is in the place of quote unquote doing the right thing. It's just a matter of, well, nothing's going on in my backyard, so I'm just going to go ahead and look over the fence here, and oh, there go those Johnsons. They're going crazy over there. You know what I mean? So it could be that. It could be something like that, where literally someone is just observing something kind of terrible happening to someone else. Okay? Aquarius, I don't know if that fits for you. I don't know if you're directly involved in the action, but this really feels like minimizing the situation or just simply observing it and being removed from it, being at a distance, at an arm's length from it. You know what I mean? Now, what else happens here? All right. So it's coming through a little more strongly now. Excuse me. That for some of you, this Queen of Pentacles actually is involved in the Tower moment, or is involved in whatever this upheaval is, whatever the shakeup is, but is pretending not to be, is trying their hardest to disengage from this or distance themselves from this, not be a part of it. And what did I say, you know, a few moments ago? The Tower is usually almost always inevitable or unavoidable. Because, here we go. It's like, even if you do avoid it for a while, it will come back in the form of something else. For an example, how can I? Well, Let me tell you, friends, I had a tower moment that initiated my spiritual awakening. And that tower moment was seemingly unrelated. How can I say this? I had a tower moment. I didn't recognize it as that. I didn't take it as, oh, this is the end of something. And then I persisted and carried on in the same situation that I should have left. That it should have been like, oh, this is a wake-up call. That's it. You know, I should have recognized that it was that was the beginning of an ending, but I didn't, and I stuck it through, and I went back into the same situation, right? And I was like, I'm gonna make the most of this. I'm gonna try and turn this around, because it was kind of a sour situation I was in, and so me going back in was me trying to avoid the tower moment. Then a few weeks later, another tower moment happened, and this one was unavoidable. Could not try to make it work. Could not try and spin it in any type of way. It just was like very much in my face the second time around. Oh no, Jay, this is done. This is whatever that is, kaputs, right? So that's what this possibly is. There is possibly a mini tower moment, let's say, quote unquote, mini tower moment happening, or has happened recently for you guys, or whoever this Queen of Pentacles person is, and they might be turning a blind eye to it. They might be trying to avoid it or ignore it or whatever, but I'm telling you, as is the way of tarot, it will come back. And not like in a punishing way. It's not in a way of, well, you didn't listen. It's not the universe or spirit or God or anybody saying, oh, you didn't listen to me the first time. Now I'm really going to let you have it. It's not that. It's not in some type of retribution. It simply is, oh, I tried to get you to end this, or I tried to get this situation or this relationship or these people or this habit or whatever out of your life, because that's what's necessary. Tower always removes what is no longer serving us, what no longer is necessary in our lives, right? So that could have happened today, yesterday, 15 years ago, whatever, however long ago it was. And then it wasn't necessarily embraced. It was, again, ignored, avoided, tried to play it down, possibly, again, going into your safe place, right? Safe bubble space, the Queen of Pentacles. And now the universe, God, spirit, whatever you believe in or don't believe in, has come back or will come back and be like, I think I'm going to have to do something else here to get your attention or to get this thing moving out of your life. Because again, the tower removes what no longer serves us. Okay. It takes out what we don't need anymore. And in my own situation, I got to tell you, in that time of the tower moment, the two that came basically within, I'd say like 3 or 4 weeks of each other, I was really like unaware. Number one, I wasn't on my spiritual journey to begin with, so I had no idea. But looking back, I'm like, oh, that's what that was. Because now that that's over, here are the different things that have happened in Jay's life. And here are the roads and the paths that I've walked down. And I'm like, if I had stayed, if I was still in that same situation, wouldn't be doing this. Would not literally be doing this. Tarot. Would not be doing YouTube. Would not be having the friendships that I have, having the bonds that I have in my life if I continued down a previous path that I was clinging to because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. And going back here to the Queen of Pentacles, that is also what Pentacles do. Pentacles are about setting up roots, setting up shop, creating firm foundations. And as a queen, one of the masters in terms of hierarchy for me in court cards, kings and queens are co-masters of their particular suits, right? So the queen is not really that thrilled about possibly having to change her foundation. And I say her again only because there's a woman on the card. I could be talking about a guy. Now, what else happens? Or So now they're like showing me again, it could also be other people. Man, so that story's not done. I thought that story was done, but that's still true. They want me to acknowledge that that is still true. This could still very well be someone looking over the backyard fence, watching their neighbor's life fall to shit, or watching their best friend or their husband or their wife with their own family. You know what I mean? Like, it's like some people, the Queen of Pentacles is still an observer. For others of you, she's very much a part of the tower moment. She's just avoidant of it, okay? Either way you slice it, there's distance between the Queen of Pentacles and the Tower, energetically speaking, in terms of acknowledgement, in terms of conscious mind, all that kind of stuff. There's distance there, okay? For those two different scenarios, okay? So what else happens here? So, yes, interesting. So they're letting me know that for some, this is like a friendship thing or like a family thing. Like sisters, also what they're giving me, because we've got the Queen of Cups, or excuse me, not the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Cups up here. In reverse, I should say. I don't know why I didn't mention it was in reverse, because obviously it was. So Knight of Cups in reverse. Not Knight. God dang it. Page. I always forget in this deck that this is the pages, or these are what the pages are represented by. My bad. Page of Cups. But I'm still getting a sister vibe, but I'm going to quickly acknowledge that pages can indicate children. So for some of you, this is a parent-child relationship, which we kind of talked about in the beginning anyway, with this being the Queen of Pentacles. All right, and the nurturing aspect that that person might have. So the Page of Cups was in reverse. So this could be, and you know, that happens, and that has come up in readings before, where, you know, I'm not a parent, but I suspect my style would be similar to this. It would be like having to watch your child go through a particular hardship and kind of, for, quote unquote, for their own good, let them deal with it. Because again, the Queen of Pentacles, in most cases, is in some form or fashion at a distance from the Tower moment. The Tower moment, not only, or excuse me, not only, but I'm really keen to connect them because the Tower's in reverse and the Page of Cups is in the reverse. So it feels like energetically these two are matched as they've shown up in the reverse. So this Page of Cups, child of yours, Aquarius, or you're the Page of Cups and Queen of Pentacles is someone else in your life, or whatever it is. So Page of Cups, child, spouse, best friend, neighbor that, you know, you're just keeping tabs on, or whatever, seems to be struggling. And that would make sense because pages energetically not only indicate sometimes children, and children, you know, it doesn't have to be like a young little kid. It could be like an adult child, okay? But pages don't always have to be children. They could just be people who are young or immature in their energy, right? So this could be someone who's 30 years old, 50 years old, 68 years old, I don't care, but they're showing up energetically as a page. And this person right now, I think, is in an emotional disarray. They're kind of sullen, melancholy, feeling possibly abandoned is how this is coming through, feeling kind of possibly abandoned as, yeah. Because again, going back to, because I cut myself off from that train of thought. But again, if this was a kid, and again, I'm not a parent, but I think my style would be like this. This person has to, again, going back to the Tower being mostly unavoidable, right? Has to suffer some type of loss in order to facilitate their growth. Because again, pages are the most immature, underdeveloped or undeveloped energy in terms of court cards. Page, knight, queen, king, right? So in order to become a knight and to later become a queen and or a king, this person has to learn some things. Okay? They have to experience some things. So again, if I was a parent, and I assume this is how many people are, it's not just me, if my kid was going through something that really was affecting them, it's not like I would leave them totally alone, but it's like, but you're going to have to figure it out for yourself. Like that, I feel, would be my general vibe as a parent. You're going to have to figure this out for yourself. Like I've been through it my own way. Here's what I did when I was in your shoes. Here's how I think I would react. But I need you, or I want you to be able to, you know, make up your own mind or face your adversity on your own to a certain extent. I'll support you, but I'm not going to step in and do this for you. Now, again, that might be a little controversial. And again, it's coming from somebody who doesn't have has 0 children. Okay. But that is sort of the approach that I think I would take on. And I think if this is a parent-child relationship, that is possibly the mindset of the Queen of Pentacles, right? If it's a friend, similar thing. Like, girl, I support you. Guy, I got your back, but you're going to have to figure that out. Or, you know, I'm here if you need me. That type of attitude is, because again, the Queen of Pentacles is removed in some form or fashion from the Tower moment. Now, for those where she's kind of in it, but she's not trying to acknowledge that she's in it, that increases a little bit of the quote unquote dysfunctionality in this relationship between these two characters. whoever they might be, friends, family, lovers, I don't care. If the Queen of Pentacles is more directly affected by or a part of the Tower moment, this is like almost scapegoating in that scenario, because again, we're going like two ways with this Aquarius. If she's a part of it, there's a denial that this is even happening. Remember I told you about my own case of a Tower moment. I was like, well, not that I was it's just more of like I felt that it wasn't related to anything. So maybe that's it. But in some cases, it's a pure denial. Like, I know this is crap. I know this is supposed to be ending, or I know there's supposed to be some transformation going on here, or something here needs to be shifted around, but I'm not going to, I'm not here for that. You know what I mean? The Tower moment, again, being energetically, thank you, linked to the Page of Cups in reverse, could be the Page of Cups is acting a certain type of way that's really, really upsetting to the Queen of Pentacles, can be a challenge to the Queen of Pentacles, but they don't acknowledge it. Meaning, again, going back to like this dynamic between parent and child, or just let's go with friendship, because not all of you guys are going to be parents, but let's say friendship, right? So this could be someone who is taking advantage. They're young, or their energy is young, right? This Page of Cups. So they're young, they act impulsively perhaps, or they're in a mood. Like I said, there's like this emotional vulnerability, or like there's an upheaval, or like a, what is this? That's interesting. It's like they're giving me like popping sounds. Like I'm seeing things burst. So maybe they're having, like emotional outbursts or something like that. And the friend, if they're friends, this one over here, Queen of Pentacles, is kind of turning a blind eye to that. Like, oh, she's just going through a phase, or she's just been in a mood lately. I'm just going to let her cool down. Or is trying to reach out to the Page of Cups and is like, hey, do you need any help? Like, what can I do to help you? Da 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 da. And is getting like abused or like mistreated or like yelled at and stuff like that. And that's an unhealthy dynamic in that particular case, right? Or something similar. So if the Queen of Pentacles is a part of the Tower moment alongside the Page of Cups, it feels a lot more tumultuous. It feels a lot more consequential, because both parties are partaking, and to a certain extent, both parties are not recognizing what's going on in the Tower moment, right? Versus if you're observing, possibly you could see, oh, that's what this means. This Tower situation, whatever it is, whatever is being shaken up, whatever is being sort of pushed or nudged out of the way, trying to, the universe, God, whatever is trying to remove it, Queen of Pentacles might, if she's removed from the situation due to her distant perspective, might be able to say, I think that's what's going on. So there's a chance that if this person is not involved in the situation, they might understand what's going on a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure there's some cliched phrase about, the farther you are from something, the clearer you can see it. Something like that. I in this moment, a cliche escapes me. How rare. But anyway, Page of Cups. Anything else? Again, this person, like they really might be like super depressed, possibly, what's that right now? Sad seasonal affected disorder. I forget what the acronym means. So they might be sad in that way. Because up here in the northern hemisphere, obviously we're in the winter months, so this person might be affected by seasonal changes. I mean, and on top of that, 2020 has been the most nobody's going nowhere year of recent human history. You know what I mean? So this person could be deeply affected by what's going on in their environment, what's going on in the world at large, what's going on in their community at large. And they're not coping well. That's basically what I'm feeling. This Page of Cups not really coping well. And also, because it's a page energy, they're not going to be overly expressive about what's going on. So this person might be hiding just how deeply affected they are. And why did I get excited? Well, I got excited because the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords can be talking about manipulation, deception, lies, and all that good stuff. But in a very general sense, it's basically what is misleading in a situation, or how a person behaves that becomes or reveals that they're misleading. So this is possibly the Page of Swords, when asked, hey, is there anything I can do to help you? They say no. And, sometimes when people do that, we've all experienced it, or we've all been guilty of it at some point or another, I would think. You ask the person, is there anything I can do to help you? Are you okay? And the answer is no. Many times you will know that answer is a lie. And the person, for whatever reason, just does not want to share what they need, what they want in the situation, what they need or what they want that would help them, right? They don't want to share what's bothering them, so they'd rather say nothing at all, right? That's kind of what this feels like. Now, the deeper meaning that I'm feeling here, or motivation that I'm feeling here, specifically tied to the illustration of this card. Seven of Swords is not always illustrated this way. I feel as though, especially when I was just talking about how the Page of Cups could be going through seasonal depression, or they could just have, a mood disorder or something going on with them on a regular basis. Because of the illustration of this card, how she's, sort of very concerned about the people that are around the corner from her. It could be the Page of Cups doesn't want anyone in their business, is afraid of what other people will say or do if they're quote unquote found out. Because again, the Seven of Swords, the woman there, she looks like she's hiding from those shadowy figures at the bottom of the stairs. Yeah. She looks like she doesn't want to be caught. She doesn't want to engage with whoever those two people are. Yeah. So again, and again, that's why I'm not a parent, or not why I'm not a parent, but I say I think this is what I would do as a parent, but I don't know what my kid would be like, right? So let's say this was, again, a parent and child relationship. Regardless of how old they are, sometimes kids don't want to open up, right? And again, energetically, this person is a page. So in terms of some type of either emotional mostly emotional, but even behavioral possibly, development, someone might still be very much, quote unquote, a child, right? So if you have grown up in a certain family dynamic or a certain friendship dynamic where we never talk about hard things, we never talk about difficult subjects, which again, Queen of Pentacles could be living in a bubble, could from that bubble area have a certain skewed perspective of what's going on in reality. And again, I told you, Seven of Swords in general talks about secret keeping or lies, right? So this could be a friend, a family member, someone that you've known a long time, Aquarius, or you, them. And the Page of Cups maybe has always struggled with mental or emotional disorder, but they don't want to talk about it. And they've always been able to kind of sweep it up under the rug. They've always been able to avoid the topic or change the subject, or, when dating someone and that became sort of an issue, they were able to just like bail on it or whatever. And as a parent, possibly you never got to those deeper conversations, or you never talk about the dating life. I know plenty of people that are my age, full-on adults, and they've never talked to their parents about their dating lives, ever. I didn't always myself. I do now, but I didn't always. You know what I mean? So there could be 2 times over for both people an insular effect, where we don't talk about this, or I don't know how to broach this subject with you, or when I do broach the subject, you shut down, or you cast me out, you reject me, or you reject the conversation, and all this other kind of stuff. Yeah. And Seven of Swords, like I said, based on this illustration, and sometimes the traditional interpretation of the card, is sometimes about self-preservation, or the perception that someone is trying to protect themselves, to save their own skin, right? So I get this feeling that Page of Cups, and possibly to a certain degree the Queen of Pentacles as well, they know something is afoot. Something is going on, and people might be looking for more answers, or looking for insight, or trying to, put the pieces of a puzzle together, but they don't want that to happen. They don't want you to know, or they don't want to explain, or they don't want to dive into those conversations. So lies are created, conversations are avoided, key details are hidden, half truths. There's a lot of wishy-washy energy, or like a hard to pin down energy, which I think is influenced by this being cups. Cups is, again, related to water, and water is what? A very fluid, flowy substance. You go to grab a handful of water, you're just going to come out with a wet hand, because you can't literally hold it in your hand like you could. Like, I could hold this crystal here. If this suddenly was made of water, my hand would be wet and my table would be wet, and I'd lose the majority of the mass that the water would be made up of. You know what I mean? So there's something about this person, or their attitude, or not attitude, but their emotional self at this time doesn't want to be handled, doesn't want to be held, doesn't want to be contained. Or, like I said before, there's a lot of emotions, popping up all over the place, and they themselves can't contain it. So, it's a whole thing. And I feel sympathy for everybody that we've met so far, because I don't feel anything is nefarious. I don't feel that anything, even the lies or any potential half-truths or whatever that's happening here, I don't think it's for the sake of hurting anybody. I think it's for the sake of protecting the self, which inadvertently has this runoff effect, or this residual effect of possibly hurting people, even though that's not the intention. Okay. Now, the other thing that's very interesting, or not interesting, but plays into the situation, is this Five of Pentacles. I feel for everybody involved. I think we're mostly talking about two people, but if this is friends or family, I think we would obviously be talking about more than two people, but it doesn't have to be that. But in totality, like the group, whoever the group is, because we've got like this group of like frogs and crabs or whatever down the bottom of this card, is really feeling isolated. I did mention the word abandoned earlier. I think I did when I mentioned the Page of Cups, so that could be where they factor into this. Other people might feel isolated or iced out, and then the Page of Cups might in turn feel, well, I'm abandoned. And it's just like, who's quote unquote right in this situation? Since it's different perspectives, everybody to a certain degree is kind of right. But it's like being outside of, because that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the outside of a cathedral, the outside of a church, and presumably on the inside of that church is some type of ability, or a place of rest, a place of salvation. Yeah, salvation. Ooh, okay, we're going to talk about that in 2 seconds. A place of salvation, a place of rest, a place where we can go and get a hot meal, or be put into contact with people who could, house us for the night if we are without housing. You know what I mean? There's this sanctuary that is available on the other side of that wall, but the living creatures, the frog and the crabs or whatever is down there, these creepy crawly things, they're outside of it, and there's no entry, presumably, right? So the thing that we're going to talk about that I mentioned a second ago was this word salvation. Now, just very specifically for like maybe one of you, this could involve a relationship with church and or church-based communities, family, friends, and all that stuff. And holidays are coming up, and at this time of year, that's, I don't want to say that stuff, but that kind of comes to the forefront. Those values, those principles, those church ceremonies, or those Bible studies, and all this other kind of stuff, all these festivities. And it could be that somewhere in the family, somewhere in the friendship circle, somewhere in the local community, someone is just like, I'm not feeling it. Not just feeling the holiday spirit. Someone might literally be feeling like, I'm not feeling this religious thing. I'm not feeling this avenue of religious teaching. You know what I mean? And so, I don't want to quote anybody because I don't have anyone to directly quote, but I've heard over the years some people in their spiritual path, in their spiritual journey, whether it's secular or not, whether it's non-secular or not, they have felt, quote unquote, abandoned by God, because, or in relation to feeling abandoned by their family, their friends, their community, right? And that could play for like one person here, all right? For whatever reason, there could be this feeling of, I've been abandoned by my God. I've been abandoned by my church. I've been abandoned by my temple, my synagogue, whatever. I've been abandoned by, my faith, or I abandoned my own faith, or whatever. There is possibly that in the scenario here. And if that's the case, that would, in my estimation, easily explain why the Queen of Pentacles is in this bubble. This is someone who still has the faith and is confident in the faith, feels secure in the faith. And here's the person who feels absent of faith or rejected by whatever they were learning or teaching or whatever they were brought up with. Okay. That's very specific. It's not for everybody. Okay. But that's there as well, because again, what's depicted on the Five of Pentacles is a church or a cathedral or something like that. Yeah. But in general, regardless of any spiritual or religious leaning, I feel most people here have a little bit of a hand or a little bit of a foot placed in that Five of Pentacles, because Five of Pentacles is sort of a struggle or a challenge to feel a part of, to feel welcome, to feel ingratiated and embraced in a community, and not cast off or cast aside and left behind, abandoned, or what have you, right? So for various reasons, to varying degrees, everybody kind of has a piece of that, okay? Final card of the main spread is the Two of Swords. So I think, again, this feels central to two people, but I feel it does affect more than two people in most of your cases, Aquarius. Regardless, I feel that the Tower moment and the Page of Cups are essentially delayed or not coming across, quote unquote, correctly because of this Two of Swords. Two of Swords is avoidant. Two of Swords is willful. Well, yeah, willful blindness in some cases, but not in all cases. It's not really willful. It's more of like a condition or par for the course. You know what I mean? But I feel mostly this is avoidant, because what do we see? This woman, she's kind of sitting on a rock, but behind her is like a huge storm, or at least, yeah, I just feel there's like a storm brewing behind her. And I mean, she's not dressed for the occasion, and carrying these swords and this blindfold isn't really helping her cause, right? So in reality, if we saw someone just sitting out on rocks and we see a huge storm out on the ocean approaching, it's like, hey lady, maybe you should get out of there. But she doesn't want to, or she's ignorant to it. Again, willfully blind in some cases. And I feel mostly that can apply, or at least it reflects a little bit of what's going on with the Page of Cups in reverse. But it also reflects what's going on in the Tower moment that's in reverse. Meaning, a storm is happening. Tower, a big upheaval, a big ruckus is nearby. But somebody shuts off to that. I mean, we can be talking about the Queen of Pentacles as well, to be fair. But I feel it's mostly the Page of Cups, because again, in many situations, these energies, because they came out in reverse, are connected to one another. Perhaps the Tower moment is most impactful towards the Page of Cups. So no matter how you slice it, though, the Two of Swords is like not realizing, not embracing or accepting that if I am in a perilous situation, if I am in danger or about to get really soaking wet because there's a storm brewing behind me, it's like I'm going to sit here with my blindfold on, arms crossed in front of my chest, acting as if that's not a possibility of what's about to happen to me, right? And it also allows the woman there to be ignorant of her choice. You don't have to sit there and get crushed by that storm, or you don't have to get pummeled by big waves of water. You could get up and walk away, or you could, I don't know, go change your clothes and come back to the rock, whatever you wanted to do. You could dive into the water. I don't know why you would do that, but you could. There's many things you could do, but the illustration and the traditional meaning here is inaction, not making choices, not making decisions. Yeah? And I think that aids the Tower moment, or at least encourages, like I said before about my own experience, all right, it's just going to come back again in a different form. So someone avoiding something now, okay, another way that we can think about this, and I hate it. I hate to use this analogy because I don't think it's about, again, it's not about punishment. It's not about retribution. It's not about anything in terms of making someone, cracking someone over the head and being like, now that'll learn you. No, it's, and I'm not going to use the best analogy, but hear me out. It's like taking a test, a multiple choice test. And many people, teachers, friends, family will tell you, and not to say that they're right, let's say it's multiple choice and you're really unsure of the answer. You might get advice from a friend, you might get advice from your older sister, brother, whatever. Oh, when you get to those questions, you might as well just, fill in the blank or make a guess. Choose something. If it's four particular or four options, you have a 25% chance of being right, even though you are not confident of what you're choosing as the answer. Versus if you skip the question, you don't fill in the little bubble A, B, C, D, right? That's 100% chance to get it wrong on the Scantron. Does that make sense? Like, so someone choosing to do nothing is a guarantee to get it wrong, is a guarantee to bring the tower moment back. Does that make sense? Versus possibly filling in the answer and maybe you get it right. 75% chance you get it wrong, but 25% chance you get it right. Those are better odds than zero, right? So that's what I feel here. I don't know what the decision is, or I don't know what needs to be faced. I don't know what the tower moment is. That's very specific to your life. But if someone avoids it, is ignorant to it, downplays it, like I said earlier with the Queen of Pentacles possibly downplaying it, it's likely just to come back, especially if we continue to re-engage in the same thing. Because again, the inaction of the Two of Swords, arms crossed and blindfolded there, she's not going to leave that rock. The storm is still coming. So just because you sit there and put the blindfold on doesn't mean that the weather is suddenly going to be like, okay, let's pull back the clouds. Let's pull back the waves. We've got a woman down on the rock. She's got a blindfold on. We can't go crashing into her. She's not prepared for us. The damn wave doesn't care. Mother Nature doesn't care. Still going to show up and knock that bitch off of that rock. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Anyway, the outcome for you, Aquarius. I'm not laughing at that situation. I'm laughing at me. I'm ridiculous. Anyway, the outcome is the Sun card. Now, this is very interesting because the Sun is arguably the happiest card in the tarot deck, right? It's usually the most auspicious or positive, but again, I said arguably so. In my estimation, all the cards have positive and negative aspects. So I say that as a preface because it does feel positive, but I gotta be honest, Aquarius, not everybody's gonna come out of this getting into this energy, at least not right away, because I feel, oh God, it's gonna sound so condescending and it's like it's coming from me. It's not. The right choices have to be made, right? That's what this feels like. That's not me. That's the energy like they're trying to convey to me. The access to this peace, serenity, which again we talked about in the beginning with the Queen of Pentacles, right? To get access to further or greater peace and serenity, the right choices have to be made. I don't know what that means to you. I don't know what those choices are. I don't know what test you're taking. I don't know what your multiple choice question is. That's for you to discern and you to make decisions on if you're going to answer or not, or the other person or other people in your life. I don't know who it is, but this Sun card, secondary major for Leo, by the way. If you're dealing with a Leo, that's great. If not, that's okay too. I feel like this is after the storm, because we were just talking a moment ago about the storm and the Two of Swords, right? After every storm, like Annie says, the sun will come out tomorrow. Maybe not the next day. Some storms last a long time. But this is what it feels like. That in due time, with the right choices made, the right efforts made, the right moves made, and the tower possibly being able to, fulfill its duty, remove the things that need to be removed, the sun can come out. The sun, again, arguably the most positive card or happy card in the tarot deck. So this could equal a better outlook on life, a happier outlook on life, a change in mood. Because again, we talked about the Page of Cups being possibly in a space of depression. This could be that person, their disposition, their outlook, their attitude, their mood possibly changes for some reason. Or if that's not happening, or quote unquote, or in the cards, that is the desire. If it's not already on deck, if it's not being consciously moved towards, that is what is desired. That is what is wanted. But again, I don't think it can happen without the right choices being made. I don't know what the right choice is. I don't know your specifics. This is not me saying you got to do it this way. I am no preacher. I am no doctor. I am nobody who's like, you must do it this way. You do it the way you choose, right? So whatever that means to you, or whatever that means to the other person, yeah? I feel if and or when certain things move and become better aligned, and possibly there has to be some type of departure from each other or a reconciliation. I don't know what's going on between these two people, or however many people are involved. I'm not sure. But once that energy, whatever, again, with Tower in the reverse, needs to be removed, needs to be altered, needs to be shaken up, is allowed to fully shake up and change, transform, it feels like the Sun is the next step, which is a big thing. Sun is no joke. Wow. Overall energy, Justice. Major Arcana for Libra. You could be dealing with a Libra. You don't have to be. So somewhere in this story is some type of karmic justice. They're bringing me to this karmic justice thing, which I mention sometimes when I see the Justice card, not all the time. So karmically, something's going on here for you, for them, for everybody involved that needs sorting, that needs to be straightened out, that needs to be dealt with. Now, why did I just make that sound? Is because this image is reminding me, I think it would remind many of us of, like, no offense, like an insane asylum, or like a mental hospital or something like that. A place where, back in the day, certain certain people in society, oh, what happened to Aunt Flo? Oh, she's gone upstate for a little while. Oh, she's on a retreat. Oh, she's taking time out right now. She was in a mental institution, okay? And I'm not trying to, make light of anybody's experience. That could very well be what has happened or what will happen for some people. Because again, the Seven of Swords, related back to that Page of Cups in reverse, seems to be hiding from people, not wanting to go along with or be found by the two characters at the bottom of the stairs there, right? That could have been two men with a straitjacket trying to take her off to be in the care of the state. That's just, visually what is possible. Is that going to be an actual legitimate reality? Not for most of you, probably not. But there is this concern of, like, I really feel there's someone who is afraid or concerned with being deemed unwell, unfit, and they're really apprehensive about that, and they're really avoidant of that. But that could be, the Tower moment is not always quote unquote destructive. It's not always violent or volatile. Tower moments can come in the form of, like, self-care. Like, prioritizing self-care can be a Tower moment. To radically submit to your own wellness, or submit to the suggestion of how to seek wellness. That could be a Tower moment. For, and there's many ways we can read that and reinterpret that, and I'm not going to go into it. But that, I feel, carries something karmic for someone here, is to dive into the Tower moment, because Tower moments are things that we don't want to, again, acknowledge, admit, experience, period, right? And in my particular case, to remind you, I didn't know I was going through one until it was like months or years later. I was like, oh, that was my Tower moment? Okay, that makes sense. So someone might not even know that this is what's going on for them right now, okay? Aquarius, that's your reading for December. If you liked it, please hit the like button. That would be greatly appreciated. If you want to leave a comment and let me know how this resonated in your life, please do so. I love to read your comments. And if you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It would be great to have you come along the journey and enjoy all the content that I put out on the channel, okay? Aquarius, I'll be back soon to do the mid-December readings. And until then, friends, I appreciate you so much for watching. Take care.